Welcome to another episode of Mrs. Z and Fifth with your host, Zaccheus and the Fifth General. Zaccheus, what's good?
It was good. It's good. It was good, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah.
All right, listen here. We're going to talk about the current situation with Colin Kaepernick in the NFL. The NFL's stance on, issues pertaining to causes such as police brutality and stuff like that. We're going to get into our overall opinion about it, how people feel in a negative way, how people feel in a positive way, and what this means for Colin Kaepernick going forward and players just like him. Okay. So recently, we done had a situation where the NFL basically was like, look, we're going to give you a workout, but it got to be done this way. We're going to do it in Atlanta at the Falcon Stadium. I'm sorry, the practice facility. Let me correct that. The Atlanta Falcons practice facility. Kaepernick's team was like, well, Saturday's not a good day because a lot of the GMs and everything are not present on a Saturday. Tuesday would be the day that would happen. So they were talking about representatives from all of these teams being there. There was a waiver that is traditionally has to be signed by a player that works out with the NFL. The difference is that his waiver was unlike anybody else's. And it had an indemnification clause, meaning whatever happens, good or bad, Kaepernick can't say anything. He can't sue them. He can't do anything, and he wasn't down with that. So what he did is moved it to a high school, South Atlanta, in a town called Riverdale. That's where he held the workout. He had his own receivers. He had his own press and everything. Well, not his own press, but he wanted to make sure that the press was able to, that there was no discrimination against certain press that wasn't allowed in the Falcons practice facility. And I think I know why. Because, listen, the way they tried to set that up, I get why he would want some other eyes there. Because it's one of those situations where, he works out and they only report the bad side or try to slant the story and say, oh, yeah, he was at the workout. He was terrible. He's trash.
Wow.
So we tried. Like, that's what the NFL would try to do, But you had people like Stephen A. Smith cooning on television. Well, before that, he was on the internet cooning, made a video talking about Kaepernick. Why would you show up in a Kuta Kente shirt? And man, so what? You know what I'm saying?
What?
You know what I mean? And then also
nothing wrong with being proud of your heritage. Nothing wrong with that, man.
Yeah. Well, Stephen A. believes in capitulating, and adapting and look, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. So, he doesn't speak for Kaepernick. So what? He really doesn't. But anyway, so, so he doesn't agree with the method of what happened. I will say this. It would kind of turn them the wrong way to do that. Because I know, if I ever did something like that, they'd be like, nah, I don't want to deal with him. But it is what it is.
Yes.
He's the NFL. Kaepernick doesn't need the NFL. The NFL needs him. That's basically the mentality that Cap has. And Cap has been done wrong by the NFL. Also, since Cap, they got a anti-kneeling rule. But you do have the right to do this. If you don't have to be on the field during the national anthem. You can stay in the locker room and come out, because that has happened. Right. But they don't want nobody kneeling on television. Now, you don't necessarily have to stand in line and put your hand over your heart. You could stand in the back, just like Michael Bennett. You know what I mean? So, anyway.
Yes.
Kaepernick basically was like, look, we came, we did what we did. You know, the ball's in their court, and we'll leave it at that. Yes. All right, now let's get to the conversation with me and you now. So, Colin, now I'm gonna ask you a question, man. Do you think in the way that they handled this workout by not telling them way in advance, 2 days, 3 days, whatever, not really giving him and his team the chance to have a proper workout on a proper workout day as it should happen, as opposed to forcing it on a Saturday? Do you think that the NFL was genuine, at this point, as far as giving Kaepernick a fair chance?
I'm going to tell you something. Let me tell you something right now. Everything is designed for everything that certain organizations do is designed for a purpose. And what I meant to say was designed for a purpose is it was designed for him to look washed up.
There you go.
It was designed for Kaepernick because let me tell you something. When you take a stand and you stand, you take a strong stand for a reason and a purpose. Let me tell you something. It was designed for Kaepernick. The way how they rush this thing on this man, and they push him to go on this day. It was designed for him to look sloppy. It was not designed for him to. Because let me tell you something. If they really genuinely wanted him back, they would have prepared him. Like give him a year in advance to prepare, get his body all right, get his body properly trained, so he could go back looking. Properly well mannered. But this was designed for him to look sloppy. It's not designed for him to look so like, oh wow, he's definitely ready. It's not designed for him to look ready. So it was set up in a way for him. It's designed for him to fail. See, when you take a stand for justice, you take a stand for certain things, and you see, with conversations with certain people, certain folk believe and still believe till this day. And I know you agree with me that, oh, he took a knee because he's disrespecting the flag. So it's still not, you know what? It's still not, I don't know if it's registering in their head, but they purposely just, they know it's established brutality, but they just saying that, oh, well, he's just disrespecting the flag.
It's beating a dead horse at this point.
Yes.
So there's no need to engage in any conversations with anybody about Kaepernick at this point, who still believes oh, he's disrespecting the flag, this and all of that, but never thinks about the flag disrespecting him.
Right.
How about that?
Right. So this workout right here is designed for him to not look so great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it is. That's what it is. To show the fans that, oh yeah, he's not ready to come back. He ain't ready.
Well, there's been some positive responses. They said that the reporters that saw him said that he had a good workout and he still has an elite arm, and they knew that before Kaepernick. They knew that before Kaepernick became a free agent. They knew that.
Yes.
So nothing new with that. It's been 3 years.
Yes.
And I've been boycotting since that long too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We haven't been excited about the NFL in a while.
Sure.
Listen. I just catch the news here and there, but to watch a full game.
Right. Exactly. I haven't watched. I watch sports shows, and because I watch sports news shows, I hear about what's going on in the NFL from an athletic standpoint. From a sports news standpoint. But as far as actually watching the games and sitting down for Super Bowl Sunday and all that, nope. Don't really care. So, so it's definitely not genuine, obviously. Now, a lot of people on the other side, and you know what I mean by the other side, are mad because he wore a Kunta Kinte shirt. What's your thoughts on that, man?
Listen, Kaepernick is a pro black man, and to wear kente cloth and to have a stand behind that kente cloth. I applaud him a lot. I applaud him because he said, "Listen, I'm not ashamed of who I am.
Well,
you know what I'm saying."
Let me cut in real quick because people might not understand what I'm saying here. So, for those who saw the movie Roots, the series Roots, Kunta Kinte was a slave, and he was defiant, obviously, because he had to be. And the whole point was to beat him into submission, to call himself Toby. You know, he kept running away. And when he said, your name's in that important scene, your name's Toby.
Toby, yeah.
And he goes, Kunta Kinte, and he gets whipped.
They whip him. Yeah.
Now, they whipped him to a point where he didn't want to get whipped no more. And
so he gave in.
Right, so he gave in, but the whole point was the metaphor of NFL owners acting like slave owners. So, yeah, he wore Kunta Kinte, a shirt that said Kunta Kinte on it. Doesn't bother me.
Yo.
I wonder if they would have had a problem with him wearing a Thomas Jefferson shirt. Because the last time I checked, Thomas Jefferson had slaves. So
he did.
You're not mad at Thomas Jefferson for owning slaves, but you own that Kunta Kinte, a slave who ran away and wanted his freedom. Zaccheus, your turn.
Let me tell you something, man. When it comes to Black pride, and you see, that's why way back when, James Brown came up with a song called "Blacker Than Proud."
Yeah.
Back in 1969 or 68, 69. It was a point in time in history where we were proud to even proud to say that, listen, let's just change our name to go on that. The piggyback on that was with the Black Panther Party. It was a pride. You take pride in just being black at a point where it's like, wow. And you wore your afros, and you wore your afro, and you wore your dashikis,
right?
And you wanted to change your name,
right? You wore your natural hair.
You was proud.
You embraced your culture,
and you embraced your culture,
yeah.
And you embraced it.
Yep.
Now, in this day and age, now, and there's only a scattered few, and I say it like this with a loose tongue. There's only a scattered few that are proud. That are proud. There are some hip hop artists and some dudes walking around saying that I'm not black. Well, that's a different show altogether.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Say, oh, I'm not black. No, I'm not black. No, I'm not. I'm not black. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna call the name out. But he said it. He said in the interview, I'm not a black. No, I'm not a black man. I'm something else. Or I'm not. You know what I'm saying?
Well, here's what I want to say to those people who say that. If you don't want to identify with the rest of us, then you have no right to speak on us. Then, simple as that.
Hello.
You have revoked your right to speak on any issues pertaining to black people in America. So be quiet. And then at this point, you are offensive now. Because we're not about to have you talking down to black people, and because you is black, that you can now get a pass for it. If you do not identify with us, then you have removed yourself from us. Therefore, you have turned yourself into the enemy if you're speaking against us. And therefore, you should not be speaking on issues pertaining to us. And that goes for anybody that tries to sell us short or sell us out.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead, Zaccheus.
Exactly. And you, as you can see, and I'm gonna say it loud and clear, you can see that when you sell yourself out, and when you decide to say, hey, you know what? I'm not proud of who I am, and I'm not. You'll find out that the other folk will give you a swift kick between your teeth to remind yourself to who you are.
Oh yeah, all the time.
So go ahead and coon.
Just hope it.
Drink that coon juice.
They better just hope it doesn't. Coon Aid. That's what they're drinking. Coon Aid.
I really want to play Willie D song on the show, but man, I know.
Wow.
But yeah. Mm-hmm. So you want to go ahead and not be proud of. Listen, Kaepernick is proud of who he is. Kaepernick has took a stand. Kaepernick is keeping it real with himself and keeping it real with his people and saying, listen, I'm tired. I could play. I can run up and down the field, but listen, I got to bring attention to this.
I want to address something. I want to address something real quick about Kaepernick and his relationship. I mentioned this for a reason. So he's dating a woman by the name of Nisa Diab, who works for Hot 97 and MTV and a couple of the networks. Now, she's not black. She is of Arab descent from Egypt. Okay. Now she has been now Cap is half black, right? But Cap is obviously not treated like his other half. He's only treated like he's black. But anyway, that's the whole anyway. So a lot of people are saying, how can this man be black and proud and his woman ain't black? Well, I can't speak for Cap, but I will speak on the issue of interracial relationships with a black person. She knows that in order to be with him, that she has to be empathetic to his cause and then also stand with him in the fight against white supremacy. Otherwise, why is she with him? And that goes to our point when our show last season about interracial dating, and the one thing I said to non-black people and black people is, if you are going to date us, then you have to fight with us. Otherwise, get away from us. We don't need you. We really don't. Respectfully. So that's why she's there. Can't speak on any situation going forth with anybody else. But for anybody who has a comment about that, that's my answer. But anyway, so let's now get into the NFL and the cause itself, because they made a deal with Jay, and everybody's like, oh, well, Jay got a seat at the table. I'm not with that seat at the table stuff. If anything, we need to have our own table, because if you're sitting at the table, what meal are you eating? I mean, in certain households on the other side, dogs eat at the table. So having a seat at the table means nothing. You know, the family eats the chicken and the dog gets the bones. So where exactly is Jay-Z sitting at the table? Who is he sitting next to? And what is he do? Is he sitting at the table? Is he eating the 4-course meal and the same meal that everybody else at the table is eating? Or is everybody else eating steak and lobster and he's stuck with chitlins? You know what I'm saying? Or is he serving the table? You know what I'm saying? So
everybody's confused with that, you know, because you see, Rihanna, and I applaud Rihanna, because Rihanna decided to say, you know what, I'm not performing for the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
That's big.
Exactly.
That's huge.
Well, Rihanna's supposed to be Jay-Z. Well, Rihanna's supposed to be a friend of Jay-Z. And even then, she's not giving up on the cause.
Yes. And there's a few other artists that decided to say, you know what, I'm not gonna do anything to support the NFL because they're ignoring the black cause and the police brutality. And so therefore, but I'm confused. I'm like Rihanna. I'm also confused of why Jay-Z decided to work something out with the NFL. Because my thing is this: if you're gonna take a stance, take it all the way. You know, I don't know. Maybe he's trying to. Maybe it's something with the NFL he's trying to work out where maybe trying to build a new league. I don't know what's going on.
Well, the problem is, real quickly, is that, Jay said when he was questioned, when he had that little forum with Roger Goodell, and, he said we're past kneeling. And my thing is, first of all, Jay, who are you talking about and who you talking to? You don't speak for that man. Don't say we past kneeling. Now, I will say that it takes more than just kneeling. I agree with that. And also the NFL still hasn't. This is what the NFL needs to do. Or they could prove this by letting us know they ain't, selective on their causes. Because if Kaepernick would have been kneeling for breast cancer and autism awareness and domestic violence during the national anthem, nobody would bat an eye. But he protests for police brutality and everybody loses their minds. No. So signing him would prove to the NFL that, you know what, we are for fighting against police brutality. And we don't have any issues with causes that affect black people. Causes that pertain to, that pertain to black people as a whole in this country. We do care. That's what would show if they signed him. Now, I thought that showed when they signed when they signed Kaepernick's friend Eric Reed. Eric Reed was the other player who kneeled with Kaepernick. Now he has a job. He plays for the Carolina Panthers. And Eric Reed is still on Kaepernick's side, no matter what. They tried to get him to double talk and double speak, and he was like, "Nah, I'm still riding with my man. Yo, that's my dude right there." You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So shout outs to Eric Reed, man. Shout outs to him.
Eric Reed. That's right.
But yeah. That's right. But I'm gonna ask you something, man. Now, what does the NFL care about? Because they do good things for breast cancer awareness. I mean, everybody's out there wearing pink gloves and pink shoes. Okay. And I say that respectfully. If any other things show up, they down for that. They stand against things pertaining to gay rights. So my thing is, there's a such thing as black rights. So, and most of the NFL, most of the NFL is black. I'm trying to phrase the question. Most of the NFL is black. So, what does it say about an organization that has a stance, or at least appears to have a stance against a cause that against a people that predominantly make up your league? What does it say about a league that feels that way?
Well, you have to understand that the NFL is still under the white umbrella of supremacy.
Yeah.
You have to understand that, and
because it's a corporation.
It's not a corporation run by black people. Black people we just play in the league,
right?
And when it comes down to rights, because there's a lot of organizations that support breast cancer and diabetes and autism. There's a lot of organizations that support that, but when it comes to black cause and police brutality, they turn their backs on that big time. The NFL, I don't think in a million years, unless it will never stand for police brutality. We'll never take a stand and say, we fight against police brutality. Why? Because America itself is under the umbrella of white supremacy. So it will never, in the NFL is based on ratings and based on accolades and ratings, and NFL is not an organization that is based on social rights for black folks at all. Although we do play, and although it's predominantly right now considered it's a lot of black players in the NFL, but it is not geared towards the black cause. Period. When you don't run your own organization, when we're gonna run our own things, this is always gonna be this. It's always gonna be this way. because we don't run our own organization, we don't run our own businesses as far as as far as the NFL, as far as organizations like that are concerned. That's why I applaud this is all in the entertainment field anyway. I applaud Ice Cube. I applaud Tyler Perry for saying, listen, we've been in our own studio. This is us. The NFL is never gonna embrace police brutality, because it's once you have an organ, it's never good. That's never gonna happen. Yeah, we don't control the NFL. We just play for the NFL, and that's what it is.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. You got this situation with them, but it speaks volumes, man. But it speaks volumes with all sports leagues. Now, let's talk about the NBA real quickly. When LeBron James was wearing, in tribute to Eric Garner, "I Can't Breathe" shirts, he didn't get suspended. He didn't get fined or anything like that.
No.
When they wore the hoodies for Trayvon, the Miami Heat, several other players going forward, there was no situations there. There was no suspensions or anything like that. Now, they did have to do something about the owner, Donald Sterling, back when he was, when he was recorded by that girl he was messing with, and he was dropping N-bombs and all that, and don't bring him to my games and all that. You know what I'm saying? Talking about black people, don't bring them to my games and all that, and well, hold on, I don't know if he was dropping it. Wait, hold on, let me take it back. I don't recall him dropping an N-word. Let me correct that. What I'm saying is, he had this whole thing about don't bring him to my games and all of this, and then he when he had like this mentality that if I give you money, then you should be thankful for that, but then take this disrespect. See, that's the problem. But that's what's going on. That's what's going on all over. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's like, what people have to realize is that if they're willing to pay you that much money, then it's what they feel you're worth, because what they're making is a whole lot more than that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And a lot of owners were against Kaepernick, and they were against this workout. A lot of them are. Now they said there's some interest. Falcons name, the Jets name, Giants name, a couple names got thrown out there. But the thing is that why do this if you have no intentions on giving him a real shot? Because now you bring attention back to this issue again, and the NFL was trying to get away from this issue after that case that Kaepernick and the NFL agreed to. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Remember, we talked about that. So I don't see what's the point. So my thing is, somebody better be offering something, and I'm not saying that like as if you owe him something. I don't mean in that way. I mean, they kind of do in some way, but that's another conversation. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't do the NFL any good to bring this guy in. Don't make him walk on the rug and then pull the rug from under him once he gets on it. So there has to be a purpose to this. So do you think with this workout that there's possibly a team or a number of teams that actually have some interest in him and seriously considering signing him and giving him, I don't know, whether it be a deal that's guaranteed, non-guaranteed?
I think a lot of teams are especially a lot of the owners of the teams, a lot of them don't like attention. Some of them don't like the controversy and they don't like that kind of attention. And I think it'll be kind of. I think the pickings for him going on the NFL team, it will be a little slimmer. We'll have to take an owner of a team to say, you know what, I'm gonna take a stand and I'm gonna jump the plank and I'm gonna give him the opportunity to come on this team. And I don't see a lot of them stepping out to do that, because, like I said before, a lot of them don't like the controversy. A lot of them don't like that kind of attention. That you're bringing this pro-black player on my team, it will have to take a strong-minded owner to say, listen, you know what? He's been suspended. He's been out of the game for a while, but let me just take a risk with this man. This man took a stand.
He's been blackballed.
And he shows leadership. And because he took a stand, this shows leadership. And I think I'm going to give him the opportunity to come on this and play on this field, because what he did, a lot of these players wouldn't. A lot of these players would not do what he did. They wouldn't, although they believe in their heart that yes, police brutality should be eradicated. But on the other hand, would they take a stand like Kaepernick?
Well, the problem is you have white supremacists and suspected white supremacists and coons of all communities, especially in the black community. The coons are saying, why is he standing up for police brutality, but he ain't standing up for black on black crime? Oh, stop that mess, man. If I hear that again, somebody getting popped, man. I'm tired of that, man. Tired of hearing that. Listen. No black person on this earth, well, maybe, but black people in large numbers do not support crime against each other. And first of all, crime is just crime. The neighborhoods that you live in, and people commit the crimes in these neighborhoods. Okay, go ahead. When you leave a community destitute and disenfranchised and stashed in ghettos, no way to have any type of resources, strip them of their resources, everything. There's no jobs, there's nothing. Of course, there's going to be crime.
Let me ask him this question. When the Italian mob, when they kill each other, do they say Italian on Italian crime?
Heck, freaking no.
Or when two Irish people kill each other, do they say Irish on Irish crime?
Nope. They don't say white on white crime. When America went to war, helped out in the war against the Nazis. They didn't call that white on white crime. They called that war.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just saying, I didn't hear white on white crime in World War I and World War II.
So my thing is that a lot of the coons like to call black on black, say black on black crime because they want to get away from the issue at hand.
Thank you. It's called deflecting.
Yes, they want to get away from the issue at hand. So I'm
not even friends with people like that, man.
You know.
Or you?
No. But I know them.
Exactly. Of course we know them.
They're around.
They're in our families.
Exactly.
they're in the streets. They're associates and they're in our families.
Exactly. So my thing is this. They like to these are the same people that say, well, stop black on black crime. They're not up on their black history.
No.
90% of the time they're not on it.
No.
They're not up on it, and they're certainly not teaching their kids black history.
And they lack knowledge of self.
Some of them have self-hate.
Yeah. Some of them self-hate.
I'm not gonna call no names, but we all know them too.
They self-hate, loving them some Jesus too, but not loving themselves. That sounds like a problem to me.
Yeah, love them some Jesus.
Yo.
Sure.
Sorry, had an audio.
Say this.
Had an audio issue. I'm saying, I repeat that because there was an audio issue. I was saying you got a lot of black folks out there, believers or non-believers out there loving them some Jesus, but not loving themselves.
Exactly.
Cooning.
So true. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Big time. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna close this one out early.
Definitely.
I felt like we got to the point.
Oh yeah.
Any last statements?
Kaepernick, we stand with you and all the way through, and all the best. That's it.
All right. My last thing to say is, man, the NFL doesn't. We don't need the NFL. The NFL needs us. I am for I'm for NFL blackout. You know, and what I mean by that is every black person in the league who supports police brutality, all walk out. Wait, hold on. Say that wrong. That supports the fight against police brutality. Let me say that correctly. If you are for fighting against police brutality, ending police brutality, eradicating it completely at its core, that I'm hoping that all y'all walk out, take your money with you, join Ricky Williams League, the Players League, because that's close enough. I mean, hey, listen, if Ice Cube was able to do what he could and gather his resources together and get some investors to put money into the Big Three, which the Big Three is a niche market. He saw a market for this and it's working. The NFL the same league can happen, and a new league can happen just like that. You know, we're talking about a league that's predominantly black. And when a league has an issue with a player who is protesting for a great cause against something that affects the black community, that should be taken serious, especially if most of your league is black people. That's like you owning a business. And this happens all the time because all jobs are like this. So is mine. You know, I got the kind of place where Martin Luther King, they don't close down on Martin Luther King Day. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's like you go to a job and and think about it. And let's just keep it real. NFL, let's just keep it real. I don't hope it happens, but if it does, we're gonna have to fight like hell. Literally. Okay? If a law happened today that said black people have to stay in their homes from this time period, okay, that includes the black people that's in the NFL. Looks like you don't have a game day. So then will you care?
Yeah.
My point exactly. We're going to get up out of here. Zaccheus, where can they reach you, man?
You can reach me on Twitter at Wayne Backus 2 on Twitter, also on Instagram, Zaccheus B73 on Instagram, also on Facebook, Wayne Zaccheus Backus on Facebook. Holla, y'all.
You can reach me at The Fifth General on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, at The Fifth General. All right, we're going to get up out of here, signing off. This is The Fifth General, Zaccheus. We're going to get up out of here. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.